Take out the papers and the trash.
Welcome to the game of Trashcan Kickball. Okay, when the game starts, you will be divided into two teams. You will either be on the kicking team, in which you may line up behind one of the three cones and just go ahead and take the shortest line. If you are not asked to be on the kicking team, you will be asked to be on the fielding team. The fielding team will be on the cement cut line on the other side of the cement cut line where that trash can is. It's the cement cut line that divides the two basketball courts. All fielding team members must be on the line, the cement cut line that divides the two courts, or behind it. So they may not be on this closest Blazer court. They may be anywhere behind that cement line. That includes being out in the grass. That includes being as long as you're behind the cement cut line over there in the shade of the parking lots, or even it is advisable to have team members way out over in that area, anywhere the ball can be kicked, as long as the fielding team is behind that cement cut line until the ball is kicked. The game begins with three lines of kickers, and the teacher will say, "Kickers ready, go," at which time all three kickers at the same line will kick the ball that is out in front of them, and they will run towards first base as long as all three of the balls that were kicked are fair balls, as opposed to being a foul ball. A fair ball is any ball that is kicked between the third pole, that would be the first base pole, and the third base, that would be the fourth base pole. Yes, we actually have in this game 4 bases and a home plate. I'm going to show you the bases right now, and then I'll go back to explain the fair ball and the foul ball. When the teacher says, "Kickers ready, go," all three run up at the same time and kick the ball. It is important that you do it at the same time, because if this person waits too long, this person is running towards the first base pole and can get hit by that ball. So, kickers ready, go. All three of you go, kick the ball. You all three run towards the first base pole. That is the first base pole, the orange basketball pole. That is the second base pole, the silver pole. It's a long way to run straight across the middle of that basketball court to the third base pole and touch it. And then you can run to the fourth base pole, which is the purple pole on the Blazer court. And then you can run home. There will be a plate right there where that intersects, and that would be home. If you make it all the way around, when your foot touches home plate, you will score 1 point for your team. At that point, you may go to the back of the shortest line and wait to kick again. Now, a couple of things that make this game interesting. When you kick, a fair ball is anything that goes between the orange first base pole out in the world, anywhere out in the world, including way out there. So that's why it's good to have fielders there. Now, if the ball is kicked and it goes on the inside of the pole, you're fine. If the ball goes on the outside of that orange pole, it is considered foul. It can go anywhere in the world, all the way around, but it has to also be kicked on this side of the purple pole. If it goes on that far side of the fourth pole, it is considered foul, and you'll be asked to kick again. Anywhere out in the world, that is a fair ball. When it is kicked, you will all run to first. This is what's nice. You have the option of either staying on first, which means you physically are touching that orange pole, or if you think you can make it to second, before the last of the 3 kickballs gets placed into that trash can, then you should continue running. This is important. A runner is safe unless they are off of a pole when the 3rd ball goes into the trash can. So, one ball might not go very far and immediately end up in the trash can, but everyone can keep running. The 2nd ball can go into the trash can, and everyone can keep running from base to base to base to base, trying to get home. But you must be physically touching one of the poles or have made it home when the 3rd ball reaches the inside rim of the trash can. If you are caught off of any base, you are not touching a pole and you have not made it home, and the 3rd ball goes in, any runners caught not touching a pole safely, better known as a base, when the 3rd ball comes in, are out. So you could technically get 5 people out at one time. If there are 5 people running from 2nd to 3rd, when that 3rd ball goes in, all of those runners are out, and obviously you would switch. The fielding team would come in and get behind one of the cones. The kicking team would go out and now become the fielders, and the kicking team would have their turn to try to score points. A few more reminders. When you are kicking, there is no leading off the base. When you kick, when the teacher says kickers ready, go, and all 3 approach and kick the ball in front of them at the same time, and they run to the base, first base pole, that's when they have a decision to make. Do they think they can make it safe to the 2nd pole before the 3rd ball goes into the trash can? If they decide to stop, that's fine. They're going to play it safe. They're not going to get caught stranded running across from base to base when that 3rd ball goes in and then be called out. If they decide to stay, for instance, on the 4th base pole, they must be touching the pole until the teacher says, kickers ready, go. They cannot leave any pole. They must be touching it until the teacher says go and the 3 balls are kicked. That would be leading off the base. You can't be all the way out here when it is kicked. You have to stay touching the pole, kickers ready, go, and then this person may try to run home. Otherwise, you would be called out if you leave the base before the ball is kicked, better known as leading off. There are a couple of ways to get people out. The most obvious is if they get themselves out by being caught off of one of the bases, not touching either the 1st pole, the 2nd pole, the 3rd pole, the 4th pole, or making it home when the 3rd ball goes in, they are automatically out. Another way a person can get out is if when they kick the ball, they kick it up in the air and it is caught in the air by a fielder. That is known as a pop fly. If your ball is caught in the air by a fielder, you are automatically out. The final way a person gets out is if they get 2 foul balls. You get 2 tries when the teacher says kickers ready, go, and you kick. If you kick it foul on this side of the orange pole or on this side of the purple pole one time, everybody has to come back and all 3 re-kick. Everybody that was on a base comes back. If you do that a 2nd time, you are out. You get 2 foul balls on the 2nd one, you are out, which means you just go to the back of the line and re-kick, unless you were the 3rd out, which means the teams would switch possessions. The kickers would go out in the field and the fielders would come in and kick. When your team is out on the field, better known as the fielding team, what you are trying to do when you're on the fielding team is defend, play defense, and get the kicking team out so that your team can then come in, get in line, and become kickers to score points. The best way the fielding team can do that is to spread out. A ball might be kicked there, you need people. A ball might be kicked out on the grass, you need people. A lot of times they're kicked way out there, you need people. Spread out. If you have a bunch of people standing around the trash can, they are not helping your team, because as the ball has to try to get thrown in, it has to go around all those humans that are blocking. Maybe 1 or 2 people can be there so you can throw it to them and they can put it in, but you should not have a bunch of people by the trash can. And remember, nobody can be in front of that cut line that divides the 2 basketball courts. So fielding team, spread out. Fielding team, try to catch a pop fly. Fielding team must stay behind the middle cement cut line until the ball is kicked. This is a great game. Involves a lot of people moving, lots of exercise and skill. Enjoy the game, Trash Can Kickball. At the beginning of the game, as soon as we go out, you will be assigned either kicking team, where you will get in line behind a cone, or fielding team, where you'll be behind that cement cut line where the trash can is. When the teacher says kickers ready, the first 3 kickers at the same time will kick. They will all run towards first base. When you get there, the orange pole, you must touch it, and you have a decision to make. Should I stay or should I go? If you choose to go, you must get to the second pole and be able to touch it and stay there before the 3rd ball is placed into the trash can. If you take off, that's a long way. If you make it to the 3rd pole, you have a decision to make. Should I stay or should I go? If you stay, you will be safe as long as the 3rd ball has not been placed in the trash can. Should you choose to go, you must get to the purple pole and touch it and hold it and be in contact with it before the 3rd ball gets into the trash can. Should you think you can make it home, if you get home and your foot touches right there, you will score a point for your team as long as you made it there before the 3rd ball gets into the trash can. Good luck, enjoy, have fun.